while filming, I could vaguely hear in the back of my head me thinking I really should have written a script for this. So hey everyone, am I going out of focus again? Is it better? Okay. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Yoon, and in today's video I'm going to do the mid-year freakout tag. So let's get started. So first of all, I got the paper with the tags on it. I have my Goodreads opened to remember the books that I read. Where's my Goodreads? Yes. So number 1, best book read so far. I have actually given out a lot of 5-star ratings this year. First of all, before we get into that, let me show you how my reading challenge has been going. I think it's going pretty well. Right now I'm 27 books out of 30. And yeah, so let's get back to the thing. Best book I've read so far. I have to say, out of all the 5-star ratings that I gave out, I think my absolute favorite is Lemon by Kwon Yeo Sun. If you've been staying with me for quite a while, you've probably heard me just rave and just completely love the book, and I think it's for good reasons, like genuinely for good reasons. But yeah, so Lemon is definitely my most favorite read so far, and it will probably continue to be until who knows when. But Lemon. And then the best sequel I've read so far. This one I don't have because I have not really read sequels this year. I've only been reading standalones, or the sequels are yet to come out. So instead of the ones that I've read so far, or the first book just wasn't fun enough to make me want to read the sequel. But so instead of like the ones I've read so far, I'm gonna give what I think will be the best sequel, and I think for me it's gonna be a Venom Dark and Sweet, which is the sequel to A Magic Steeped in Poison, because I absolutely loved A Magic Steeped in Poison, and the way the book ended is gonna make the sequel so tasty to read. Like, I'm so excited. For my third tag, it's a new release you haven't read yet but you want to. This one I have 2. It is, oh shoot, my voice started giving out. But it is The Red Palace by June Hur and The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axie. As you can tell, The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea is actually my number 1 most anticipated read of 2022, and I decided to book read it with a buddy read it with a friend. But we have both been pretty busy enough that we put a hold, like for now just read until chapter 10, and then we'll try to like schedule how to proceed. So I haven't been able to read it just yet, but the 10 chapters that I did read are very fun. I'm really enjoying it, so I'm looking forward to the rest of the book. And for The Red Palace, it is a court murder mystery set in Joseon, Korea, the Joseon dynasty, I think, I'm pretty sure. But it just sounds really cool, really fun, and I'm very looking forward to reading it. And for the next tag is most anticipated release for the second half of the year. 2 words. No, not even 2 words. 1 word. Wait, is that right? Yes, 1 word. Babel. Like, immediately Babel for me, because first of all, I don't know what other books are coming out. Well, no, I know 2 books that are coming out, but I'm not as excited for them as I have been for Babel for this entire year. Like, I am so excited for Babel, and I can't even tell you why. You could ask me, but I won't have an answer. I'm just so freaking excited to read it. Yeah, but it's just the whole concept of Babel by R.F. Kuang has just gotten me so excited to read it. So yeah, that is my most anticipated release for the second half of the year. For the next tag, it is what is the biggest disappointment of the year, and I have to say the Inheritance Games for me, because out of all the books I've read, that book is, except for like another book, but I didn't have that much, I didn't like have high hopes about it anyways. But out of all the other books I've read, that book is the only one of my 27 books that I gave a 2-star rating. Like, I just did not like that book. But I personally did not have a good time reading it. So out of all the books, that one was the only, that's like this only one of the 2 books I gave a 2-star rating to. But I think that one is a bigger disappointment than the other, just because there was so much hype around it. And yeah, I think another disappointment I'd have to say, like not based on rating and how much I enjoyed it, but just of how much it could have been so much more fun to read, but it didn't, like it felt kind of flat, was Jade Fire Gold by June Hur. And I'll try to say this in like the most basic, simplest points as I can. First off, they said it was an enemies to lovers slow burn romance. I think that was it, only on the most technical sense. The second thing that was disappointing is, like, for me this was the biggest disappointment, was how Jade Fire Gold is a standalone as of now, because I really enjoyed the little glimpse we got into the court drama and the political intrigue within the court drama, that I would have loved a duology if we could just have explored and expanded the stress, the tense situation of like the court drama. And I really feel like the characters themselves could have just been a lot more fleshed out had it been a duology, because a lot of things kind of like almost got there but ended up falling flat. And the third thing, what was the third thing? The third thing was that they said a very strong female protagonist, which I'm always down for, honestly, like, yes. But this one I didn't really see it, because, like, this is a minor spoiler, so if you don't really want to see why, do skip. But, skip to the next tag. But, for her in the physical, like, skill part, her jump in becoming skilled was honestly too large for me to ignore. Like, for me personally, I thought it was too big of a jump to be okay with it, because it ended up kind of like, it wasn't really her skills, but just the skill from the thing she's holding, and then she's somehow able to keep up with it. Like, that kind of gave me the sense. And then for emotional and mental strength, I didn't really see a lot of that. Like, the development to her getting to that strength was also very random and like a big jump than what I would have preferred. So that is kind of what I also didn't really enjoy of Jade Fire Gold. But other than that, probably just those 2 books are my biggest disappointments. And this is the books I read, right? It's not like books that came out 22. No, I think it's books I read. And the biggest surprise, what did I say for my biggest surprise? Oh, okay, I think I have 2 books for this one also. Well, 3 technically, because I was surprised at just how much I didn't like the Inheritance games. But in terms of surprise, I'd have to say I think both of them are romance books. So, that I can think of right now. I forgot. I was like thinking through it over, and then I didn't write it down. So now it's all gone. But the biggest surprises for me were Book Lovers by Emily Henry and Once Upon a K-Prom by Kat Cho. These 2 were surprises just based on how much I actually really enjoyed them, because they are romance novels. And for me, romance, I generally don't like to read romance because I don't like the third act conflict, and I'm just not the biggest fan of contemporary fiction novels. I just prefer fantasy. So the fact that I enjoyed these to that extent was a surprise. It was a very pleasant surprise. Like, I'm very glad I read them, but I was taken aback by just how much I ended up enjoying them. And then for the next tag, it is the newest fictional crush. 2 words, Charlie Lastra. Like, I don't, like, that's it, period. Next tag, let's go. But anyways, just to give a bit more, he is the male lead and the male main character in Book Lovers by Emily Henry, and you just have to read the book. You read the book and you'll get why. He is just honestly the ideal guy, I think, personally. Also, just how perfect he was for Nora. I loved it. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. And the next tag is the newest favorite character. And this one, I don't know if I can say absolute favorite, but I do really like this character. And this character is Cass from Year of the Reaper by Makiia Lucier. And it's been a while since I've read it, so I can't remember a lot of it, but I just remember really liking his character. So yeah, Cass from Year of the Reaper is what I would have to say newest favorite character. And yeah, I think, is that kind of sad? I read that in January. But I haven't had any favorite character since then. That's a little odd, right? I don't know. We'll have to see what my next what my next character I'll fixate on is gonna be. But for now, I'd have to say it's Cass. And oh wait, is it just books? Can I do like manga or webtoons or anything also? If I can, that's gonna take me a while to think over. It's gonna take me a while. We gotta skip this. I can't do it like that right now. The next tag is book that made you cry. I have not yet cried from a book. I've teared up maybe. I've gotten sad, but I haven't yet cried. So instead of crying, I'm just gonna do like the other three I just said. I thought I had 3 books. What is the third one? Okay, no, I do have 3 books for this one. It is Book Lovers by Emily Henry. It is Human Acts by Kang. And it is If I Had Your Face by Frances Cha, which I actually do have right here. So Book Lovers made me tear up and made me feel emotional just because of like the development of the characters and their background, plus their relationships with each other was just ugh. And then for Human Acts, I feel like I don't really have to say why, but it was just a really sad, heart-wrenching, emotional read. And then If I Had Your Face by Frances Cha, I have yet to finish this, but it's just a really disheartening book. I don't know, that sounds bad and really sad, but it's just really, really disheartening because if you're like aware of Korean society, or if you're living in Korea, you probably have experienced, or if you are Korean, you probably have experienced what they're experiencing now. Maybe not like as severe as they are because of like their jobs and their situations, but you've probably experienced like some sort of situation like they did. But it's just really disheartening because of how realistic it is. And it's just very, it's like realistic, it's relatable, like you know this is happening, so it's just kind of disheartening to see it. I had to stop reading last night because I was getting too sad, and I was like, I can't read this at night. I can't get sad at nighttime. That's not, if I get sad at nighttime, I get sad for too long, so stop it. And then the next tab is book that made you happy. Maybe I should have looked at these before I started the video, because book that made me happy, I'd have to say books that made me happy. Okay, the books that made me happy were surprisingly the 2 romance books that I read, which is Once Upon a K-Prom and Book Lovers, because the humor and the characters and the relationships between the characters and Book Lovers, it's just so good. Yeah, it made me feel really happy, and I just really enjoyed the happy ending. And then for Once Upon a K-Prom, it was just a book that made me feel happy and like excited because of, first of all, the many K-pop references, and then for secondly, it was super lighthearted. It was super cute. It's just, you don't really take these two, you don't need to think too hard on them, you just enjoy the show. So I feel like those are what made me happy. And then for the penultimate, is that how you say it in English? Penultimo book is The Most Beautiful Book You've Bought or Received. I have several for that. I'm gonna actually get them and show them to you. Give me a quick second. Okay, so I actually have a lot of really beautiful books, because if you know me, if I am buying a book, I am definitely going to go for the cover that I think is prettier, or I will buy a book or get interested in it because of how pretty I thought the cover was. So to get started, So pretty, these books. Seriously, for real though. Let's get started with this one. Is kind of a more low-key pretty, mainly because instead of the dust jacket, it's the hardcover foil that I think is really pretty. But Illuminate's edition of Portrait of a Thief. You can see here, this is new, Stealing the A. I actually really like the shade of yellow they picked for this. It's like, it really matches with the blue, but this is the center. Like, look at those tiger foils. What is that? Foils on the paper is seriously so pretty. And the reversible art, honestly, the most good looking cast I've seen for a heist. Like, they don't need to be that pretty, okay? But that one. And then one, two, three of them are special editions and 3 of them are not. But I think Illuminate's January for this Woman Kingdom was like absolutely gorgeous. Like, look at that. Like the color scheme and the design, and also the stenciled edges. Like, holy crap. Look how beautiful that art is. Yeah. I thought that was really pretty. And then I'm gonna save the last special edition for last because that is the prettiest book I own. But I have the US edition of Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Lynn Tan. Absolutely gorgeous. Like, it's so beautiful. I saw this on Instagram and I was immediately going like, you know what, I'm gonna buy it. I have to buy it. It's so pretty. Like, look at that. I love the color scheme and the art. Yeah, absolutely pretty. The next one is by the same artist who drew Daughter of the Moon Goddess, and it is the US edition again of The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea. I love how the hanbok kind of like becomes the ocean, and the red foil of the of the string here, and then the pretty art just appeared. So pretty. And like the flowers, I love it. I love absolutely everything. And then this one is A Magic Steeped in Poison, because this one gets prettier the longer you look at it. And then it's just so freaking pretty because it's like watercolor-y, and then it's got like all this kind of like, I don't know how to explain. It's just so pretty. Like, look at that. Look at that. And look, her hair has all these things in it, and the flowers. So pretty. Try it back up a little bit. I think that's good. And then for last, it is the February Daughter of the Moon Goddess edition. This is the prettiest book. I love the color scheme they changed the UK cover into. Like, this rose gold with dark blue is just seriously no words for how gorgeous and beautiful and stunning this is. I really like the color scheme. You can see, and then like it's got foil on the borders. Just look at that. And the stenciled edges, please look at that. Oh my gosh, so gorgeous. And then like it has end papers, and the art here, honestly, chef's kiss, prettiest book I have. Next tab. The final tab actually is what books do you need to read by the end of the year. That is too many to count. But I think for that tag you can just watch my summer TBR video if you want to, because a lot of those books I saved so I could have time to read, and the time I would have most time to read is in the summer, which is this month until August. So yeah, summer TBR, but just to like list off the top of my head right now: The Priory of the Orange Tree, These Violent Delights, The Poppy War, Jade City, Six Crimson Cranes, Good Girl Bad Blood, Paradise Lost, Pride and Prejudice, The Picture of Dorian Gray. What else do I have? I want to reread Frankenstein. I want to read The Portrait of the Artist, The Portrait of a Young Man as an Artist. However that title goes, I always mess it up somehow. But also the, what is it? Makiia, Mansfield Park, Northanger Abbey. What else do I have? I think Percy Jackson series, obviously. I forgot to say that in my summer TBR, but the Percy Jackson series, definitely for the summer. Definitely want to reread before the show comes out, and I am so excited. But yeah, so that is my mid-year freakout tag, or I think that's what it's called, my mid-year freakout. Yeah, a lot of stuff happened in this video, I feel like, but thank you for watching. Let me know how your year is going, your reading year is going. And yeah, if you want to comment your things on any of these tags, feel free to do so. And I will hopefully see you next week. Bye.